So, you're gonna wake up tomorrow, right? So I'm sorry to hit you with some existential dread right as I start the video, but I mean, really, can we actually even say that the future exists or that it's going to happen? Well, I'm going to try to answer that in today's video and a couple other questions, but firstly, the future question is very difficult, and you're going to see how complex this can get because I already have some things that I'm thinking about that I'm going to say, and they are definitely very hard to understand. So let me make your mind a little bit more malleable, starting with a couple of other questions. Starting with a little bit simpler one, but this is a little bit of a moral question. What do I think about deforestation? Deforestation is basically destroying wildlife and destroying trees mostly. You're deforesting. You're taking away the forest. The thing is that the world is covered in trees. I mean, I'm below a tree right now, and that mountain over there has a whole bunch of trees, probably hundreds of thousands of trees. And there's a mountain over there, and a mountain over there, and a mountain over there. So, I mean, there's probably millions of trees surrounding just me right now. And also, trees are a renewable source. You can grow more. Now, granted, trees do take quite a long time to build into a really big, nice tree like this one. Probably took maybe 20 or 30, 40 years maybe, but still, I mean, they grow back. They are replaceable. They're not like a fossil fuel or anything like that where it's finite and it's going to run out eventually. I mean, trees, you can grow them back. They're going to be here for a very, very long time. Honestly, I think in order to get rid of all the trees in the world, it would take thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of years to get rid of all the trees. But the problem with deforestation, I don't think, is the trees. The problem with deforestation is when you start destroying the homes and the habitats of many animals and possibly causing mass extinctions of many different species of animal. I mean, we've seen this many of times throughout history with habitat loss and habitat destruction just causing, mass extinction of many different kinds of species of animal. And obviously, I don't think that's a good thing at all. So of course, killing a bunch of innocent animals and causing mass extinction of many different species of animals is not cool. Of course it's not cool. But the reason that we do deforestation is usually in order to either get the wood to process or to clear out a space to where we can build more things. We use wood for building houses, building telephone poles, building all kinds of different things. We have to use wood. And in my mind, a lot of these things, wood is a better thing to use than some non-natural materials, such as plastics and things like that. Wood is natural. It's been cut down and used by people for centuries to build things, various things, houses, tools, all kinds of stuff. Wood is natural, and humans have been cutting down wood for a very long time and using it for a very long time, and we still haven't run out of trees yet. But again, like I said, the main point is the habitat loss and the mass extinction of different species of animals. So I believe that deforestation is not necessarily a horrible thing to do. It's not immoral, and these people should not be put to death or anything like that, but I would say that we need more wildlife preserves and more national parks and more state parks and more things like that, where are places where it is illegal and you cannot destroy or deface the land. Deforestation is not bad. We just need more wildlife preserves to keep the wildlife and the forest and everything as it is a little bit more than we are. Next one. This one is also a kind of a moral question. Innocent until proven guilty, or guilty until proven innocent. So of course, we've all heard this term before. Innocent until proven guilty. This is basically, at least in the US court system, I don't know about other places, but in the US we have this implemented where if someone is accused of some sort of crime, they are automatically assumed innocent. They are assumed that they didn't do it until the person, the accuser, is able to prove them guilty of their crimes. The only real problem with innocent until proven guilty that I could see is you have a higher chance of letting a bad guy walk free. If he's automatically approved innocent and for some reason there is a lack of evidence to prove that he did it, maybe he did do it and they just can't figure it out, so that bad guy walks free. You could also say the same thing about guilty until proven innocent, except this time you have a higher chance of putting a free man into prison, a person who is innocent that didn't do anything, sentencing them to jail. This of course brings up a moral question. Would you rather sentence an innocent man to jail Or would you rather let a bad guy walk free? And in my opinion, again, this is just my opinion. If you guys have different thoughts on this, put it in the comments down below. If you disagree with me, that's okay. I'm just trying to try to answer this as honestly as I can. In my own opinion, I believe that the US court system got it right. I believe that you should automatically presume someone to be innocent until they're proven guilty. I think it's better to have a higher chance of a bad guy walking free than to have a higher chance of an innocent guy getting sentenced to prison, maybe even a death sentence if he's getting accused of something really, really bad. Also, bad guys do bad things. That bad guy is probably going to do something bad again and get accused of another crime, and now he has another chance to have more evidence on him to put him into jail where he belongs. But that innocent man, if he goes to jail, unless someone brings up his court case later and they have evidence and this kind of stuff, you know, then maybe there's a chance that he gets out of prison. But once person is sentenced to prison, I mean, it's not very likely that they're coming back. So I would rather have a second chance of finding a bad guy and putting him in jail than putting an innocent man in jail and, you know, having a very high chance that he never gets out of jail for something that he didn't do. All right, finally, the main event. Does the future actually exist? In order to answer a lot of these questions, I like to have a definition of what we're actually talking about. So, defining the future basically means anything that happens after right now. Anything after the present, that is the future. Right now, I am in the present, but by the time you guys watch this video, I will be in the past. Now, we know I'm in the past because I'm not recording this video live, and obviously I had to record it at some time, and it's on film, so obviously we know that I am in the past and that I existed and I said all these words. So right now, when I'm recording this, I'm in the present, but when you're watching it, I'm in the past. So does that mean that I right now am actually in the past? Am I technically in the past? Anyway, I'm getting a little bit distracted here, but future.
Sensational.
The future means anything after the present, right now. The future is 1 second from now. I'm in the future, but I'm not in the future though. You know, 1 second from now, am I in the future now? No, I'm still in the present, you know? So what about 5 minutes from now? Is 5 minutes from now I'm going to be in the future? No, probably not. I'm going to be in the present, you know? In 5 minutes, I am going to be in the present, but 5 minutes from now is the future. You can see how difficult this is. This question is incredibly confusing, talking about time, you know? It's easy to talk about the past, you know? Things that I did do. I know that I did them. You guys know that I did them because they're on film. And right now, that's a pretty easy one to think about. The present, I mean, me recording this video right now is the present, but for you guys, it's the past. But when you're watching this video, you're going to be in the present for you. So it's a little bit harder to understand, but it's still understandable. You know, for me right now, I'm in the present, but for you, I'm in the past, but in your present. See, so that kind of makes sense. A little bit hard to understand, but it still kind of makes sense. But if I had to give this an answer, does the future actually exist? My answer would be no. No, it doesn't. Because by definition, the future means it hasn't happened yet. So if something hasn't happened yet, can we really say that it exists? No, you really can't. So if I were to say, does a tablet in my hand exist? No, it doesn't. There's nothing in my hand. What about now? Does the tablet in my hand exist now? Yes, it does. But did the tablet in my hand exist a couple seconds ago? No. So if the tablet being in my hand hasn't happened yet, then does the tablet in my hand exist? No. So we could say that I know it's going to exist, but the only reason I know it's going to exist is because I thought about it and I put it in my hand. But if it was something else that was going to happen, and I was trying to say that it's going to happen in the future, it's like, I mean, maybe it might happen, but we can't really know that the future exists because it hasn't happened yet. If I were to say, is there a tablet that exists in my hand? You would say no, because it hasn't happened yet. But then if I pick up this tablet and I put it in my hand, does the tablet in my hand exist? Well, yes it does. So am I now living in the future? No, I'm still living in the present, you know? So it's kind of weird for me to say that the future exists, because if something hasn't happened, then it doesn't exist yet. So we can know that the future is going to exist, but we can't know that it does exist right now. You can have lived in the past, you are living in the present, but you can't really know if you're going to live in the future. You know what I mean? It's like, obviously you know that you're going to live in the future, but does the future exist? Well, it hasn't happened yet. So I can say pretty conclusively, does the future exist? No. No, it doesn't. So, that one was pretty difficult. I hope that my answers were good enough. I think that they made sense. I mean, that future question, pretty hard to think about, but I mean, I think that my thinking was pretty sound and that it makes sense. If you guys thought that it made sense, give this a like, subscribe, and tell me if it made sense in the comments down below. If you have any other questions for me, leave them in the comments down below as well. That's about all I got, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.